Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you insights that really stick. You know that feeling, don't you? You're buzzing with an incredible vision. Maybe it's launching that side hustle or mastering a new language, maybe finally writing that novel. You see the finished product, the grand success, the empire built in your mind's eye. But then when it comes to the actual start, that first mundane step, you hit a wall. It feels overwhelming, maybe too big, too much. You spend more time planning the next decade than executing the next hour. Does that sound familiar? If that resonates, then you're in precisely the right place today. We're diving deep into that universal human experience, the often paralyzing gap between our grandest dreams and, the crucial first steps needed to bring them to life. Our source for this exploration is a really compelling excerpt titled From Grand Dreams to Present Action. It's a piece that, despite its brevity, offers a powerful challenge to our conventional thinking about planning and execution. Our mission today is to unpack the profound wisdom within these words and maybe arm you with the understanding to bridge that chasm between aspiration and tangible progress. Okay, let's unpack this.
It's a truly universal challenge, isn't it? That allure of the vast empire we envision. It's powerful, it's motivating, sure, but it can also be incredibly daunting, especially when you put it right next to the often unglamorous reality of simply, laying the stone. What's truly fascinating here is how directly this short but impactful source material speaks to that really common human experience. And it offers such a powerful reframing of how we think about productivity and maybe more importantly, action. It hints at a core insight that, when you grasp it, has a kind of profound simplicity, the immense power of focusing on the immediate, on the now.
Precisely. And the source dives right into that common experience, practically echoing our thoughts with its opening lines. We dream in decades, yet stumble on the first step. I mean, how many times have we all done that? Meticulously planned out a 5-year, even 10-year vision. Calendars bursting with future milestones, only for that very first action item on Monday morning to feel like an insurmountable mountain. It's like we're caught in this perpetual state of almost starting.
Yes.
Almost. And it uses an even more vivid metaphor that really paints this picture. We sketch castles and calendars, but never lay the stone. That phrase, castles and calendars, it just speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's the intricate detail, the extensive planning, the beautiful blueprints we meticulously create in our minds or on our whiteboards, maybe in our project management software. And it feels like progress. We're engaging, we're strategizing, designing.
You get that little hit of dopamine.
Exactly, from just thinking about it, right? It creates this powerful illusion of moving forward. But then it contrasts that with the stark, almost brutal reality of never lay the stone. That's the foundational action, the messy, often unglamorous work of actually starting. I remember a time I spent weeks building the most intricate business plan full of projections and market analysis, and then the first email to a potential client. It sat in drafts for days.
Oh, I know that feeling.
I had built a beautiful castle on paper, but hadn't even found the first stone to lay. What does this reveal about our human nature? Or perhaps our ingrained approach to these monumental goals? It seems to touch on a very fundamental tension.
That's a perfect example, and it really highlights the distinction between intention and initiation. This phenomenon, where we dream big but falter at the start, often happens because the sheer scale of dreaming in decades can be utterly paralyzing.
Because too big.
Yeah, when you look at an entire castle in all its complexity, it's naturally overwhelming. Our brain, in an attempt to protect us from that perceived overload and, frankly, the potential for failure, often defaults to the comfort of the abstract plan.
The safe space.
Exactly. Planning, sketching, envisioning these activities genuinely feel productive. They allow us to engage with the idea of the goal without having to confront the messy, uncertain, and often unappealing reality of concrete physical action.
Right. The messy part is the scary part.
We find solace in the theoretical, in the perfect plan, because it offers a sense of control and minimizes the immediate risk of failure. This isn't just procrastination, it's a subtle form of self-sabotage, where the comfort of conceptualizing triumphs over the challenge of, creating. This can lead to a kind of analysis paralysis, where we're so busy feeling overwhelmed by the future, by the sheer size of the empire we want to build, that we prevent ourselves from engaging meaningfully with the present. The allure of sketching castles is strong, because it feels like we're moving forward, like we're achieving something. But it's fundamentally different from actual construction. One builds a mental model, the other builds reality.
That's a really insightful breakdown of why we get stuck there. It's not just laziness, it's a deeply wired psychological trap almost. And this is where the source takes a truly radical, almost counterintuitive turn. It sort of throws out the conventional wisdom of always keeping your grand vision in mind. Instead, it instructs us forget the empire for a moment, clear a single day, shut every door, and give the present your full weight.
Powerful instruction.
It is powerful because it tells us to deliberately ignore the very thing we think we need to hold on to stay motivated, the big dream. But for many, isn't that grand vision precisely what fuels their initial drive? How do you reconcile that initial sense of maybe loss when you're told to forget that motivation, even just temporarily? And what's the practicality and psychology behind these very specific, actionable instructions? Clear a single day, shut every door, and give the present your full weight. There's a lot packed into those phrases.
That's a critical question because it does feel counterintuitive at first glance. But it's not about abandoning the dream. It's more about strategically compartmentalizing it. When the source says, forget the empire for a moment, it's suggesting you temporarily set aside the daunting, overwhelming scope of the long-term goal.
Okay.
By doing this, you dramatically reduce what psychologists call cognitive load, that mental burden of holding too many complex variables and future uncertainties in your working memory. You're no longer trying to solve for all the variables of a decade-long project. You're just solving for today.
Okay, just for today.
And that frees up immense mental bandwidth, making the immediate task feel manageable rather than monstrous, and empowering immediate action.
That makes sense. Reduces the overwhelm.
Precisely. Then we have clear single day. This highlights the incredible power of a defined, manageable time frame. A day is something we can wrap our heads around.
Yeah, tangible.
It has a clear start, middle, and end. Psychologically, it creates a container for focused effort, making any task, no matter how large its eventual role, less intimidating and more achievable. It's about setting micro deadlines that your brain can process without triggering that too big to start paralysis we talked about.
Okay, so containerizing it. I like that.
Following that, shut every door speaks directly to the critical importance of eliminating distractions and external commitments during that designated period. This is the essence of deep work, of dedicated, uninterrupted focus. It means turning off notifications, letting others know you're unavailable.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And crucially, mentally closing the door on all the what ifs and should do's that try to sneak in. It's tough, almost like trying to meditate with 1,000 tabs open in your brain. But it creates an environment where your energy is not fragmented, but consolidated,
Right.
focused.
Cool to focus.
And finally, give the present your full weight. This isn't just about showing up, it's about showing up entirely. It signifies complete immersion, unwavering commitment, and full presence in the task at hand. It means putting all your mental and physical energy into the singular action you've chosen for that day, without letting your mind wander back to the overwhelming empire. This singular laser-like focus on the present first step is, ironically, the fastest and most effective path to building that very empire you temporarily forgot about.
Wow. So forgetting it helps build it.
In a way, yes. It's about recognizing that the future is built not in grand leaps, but in accumulated present moments, which, raises an important question. Are we truly present in our efforts? Or are we constantly pulled by the enormity of the future, diluting our impact in the now?
That question really hits home because so often we are present-ish, right? But our minds are still halfway into tomorrow or next year, mentally hedging our bets or worrying. But the source drives this entire point home with an irrefutable conclusion, moving us from the conceptual to the undeniable truth. Plans are only promises. Action is the proof.
That's the mic drop moment, isn't it?
It really is. That truly lands with impact. It forces you to examine how much of what you call progress is actually just detailed planning, which, as the source states, is ultimately just a promise, a maybe. So often we mistake the feeling of planning for the reality of progress. We create beautiful Gantt charts, detailed spreadsheets, elaborate timelines.
Think these look good?
It does. We feel a surge of accomplishment just from having them. It feels like we're being productive. But how many of those detailed plans remain just that, promises? Blueprints never brought to life. This challenges the very idea that extensive planning is progress.
Right.
It's a necessary prelude, perhaps, but it's not the actual construction.
No, it's not the building itself.
The real work, the real building, only begins when the first stone is laid.
Exactly. This statement cuts through all the noise and reframes our understanding of achievement. A promise is an intent, a declaration of what you will do. It's a blueprint, a theoretical construct that exists purely in the realm of ideas. It's potential.
Right, potential.
Proof, on the other hand, is the tangible outcome, the concrete evidence, the laid stone. It's the physical manifestation of that intent existing in reality. The fundamental difference is that one is aspirational and the other is actual. One lives in the future, the other lives right now.
Actual versus aspirational. That's a great way to put it.
And action is what creates momentum. It generates invaluable feedback. You learn what works and what doesn't, allowing you to adapt and refine your approach in ways planning alone never could.
You can't get that feedback from just a plan.
Never. And action builds confidence in a way that planning alone never can. Every small action, every laid stone, reinforces your capability and commitment. It proves to you that you can do it. It's the only way to move from the hypothetical scenario of a plan to the actual undeniable reality of progress. While planning certainly has its crucial place, you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right?
Of course not.
But it is utterly insufficient without the subsequent, immediate, and consistent action. It's the concrete doing, however small, that transforms intentions into reality, and ultimately changes the world around us and, importantly, within us. It's how you move from dreaming about an empire to actually having one, stone by stone.
What a powerful distillation of the journey from aspiration to accomplishment. This deep dive into from grand dreams to present action really brings us back to a core truth, doesn't it? The profound power doesn't lie solely in the grandeur of our long-term visions, but rather in the focused, committed action we take in the singular present moment.
That's it.
It really feels like the antidote to analysis paralysis and the key to unlocking true progress. This deep dive offers a direct path for you listening to break free from the planning trap and start building one stone at a time. So what does this all mean for you right now?
Well, I think it means reassessing where your energy is truly going and making a conscious shift. Consider what empire you might be so focused on sketching, perhaps in intricate detail, that you're missing the opportunity to clear a single day and lay the first stone right now, today. What single present action, however small or seemingly insignificant it might feel, could serve as your proof today? It doesn't have to be monumental. It just has to be an action. Not a thought, not a plan, but an action. Perhaps it's making that one phone call you've been dreading, or writing the first paragraph of that report, maybe dedicating a focused hour to learning that initial skill you need. The question isn't about your grand vision anymore, at least not for this moment. It's about the tangible proof you can create today. What single stone are you ready to lay?